Alright, welcome back to the backlog. I'm going to teach you today how to make a pretty easy piece of terrain out of paper straws, super glue, twine, some spackle, and an extra base you got lying around. So let's get on to it. First, I want you to make a triangle similar to this, and I want you to glue it together. After it's dry, we're going to tie a knot around one of the corners. And we're going to pull that string to the other side of the triangle. I want you to loop it around. And then I want you to bring it back to the top and then tie it together. Now you can do this before or after you wrap the joint in twine. I like wrapping it to make it look more like somebody built it instead of just gluing it together. I primed it before I twined it, and this is what it looks like. If you want to do a simple one, you can just glue it to the base there. Or what I did was I grabbed a piece of scrap XPS foam, that pink insulation foam that we all seem to have, and I just kind of carved it to make it look like a pointy rock to kind of balance it up there. And then I glued it on with some hot glue, and then I covered it in this ready-made spackle. Goes on pink, dries white, and it gives a very good texture to look like rock. Doing a nice brown wash over this twine to make it look more like a rope. Where the rope would be in tension, I washed over it with a little bit of a brighter shade of brown. Same with the knots and wrapping. And this is what it looks like in the end. Now, since I had a lot of leftover wash, I decided to add a little bit to the base. Rocks aren't really a solitary color. If you look at them closely enough, even if they're made from one material, there's usually a bit of fleck or metallic in it. Something always sparkles. So if you add a couple variations of brown or gray, it usually sells better that it's actually a rock and not just a piece of foam we painted. Alright, and now we cover it in a nice black wash to really darken down the base to make it look more like a boulder and less like a pile of dirt. I went on Google and I looked up what an old rope would look like something that has been out in the weather for a while, and it really was more of a grayish color than a brown, so I decided to come in with the black wash and darken down all the rope. I was putting on the wash, I noticed when I looked down one of the straws, I could see the white, so I decided to color in the little bit of the straw that's at the end. Here you notice that there are some matte spots and some glossy spots. That's really the craft paint and the primer not really being one coat. So I came back over with the craft paint to really make it only a matte color. Now we gotta dry brush the base, really make it look more like a stone instead of just a black rock. So I come in with a gray and just lightly dry brush it. And then I decide to just skip dry brushing and just directly paint it, because I put too much paint on the brush, and I think it worked out in the end, but that was really a scary moment at the time. Alright, and then I come back in with the dry brushing and really make the ropes look grayish, like I was saying with the aged rope on shipyards or other things like that. It is a grayish, it's not really a brown or a tan. Here I come back in to dry brush with a nice, just bright white to really bring out the extreme highlights. I guess my dry brushes look more like just light over brushing. But it is what it is. It's my project. And it looks good. I just realized that people do this at home. If you have a neighbor or something hearing you, they gotta wonder if you're just talking to yourself. Here we're gonna add some foliage. Just lay down some nice dark sap green. Get a nice little shadow color for your plants. Always when you go out and you see a big boulder or something and they're covered in moss. That's what we're gonna do now. I will say less is more with this. You can go full bore with it and just paint the top green and make it look like moss, but when you go out in nature and you look, a lot of the plant life when it's growing on rocks really is in the divots or in the little crevices. That's where the dirt settles and you can actually grow things. Here I'm doing some foliage I'm just doing some green onto the ropes, really to make it look like it's been out there a while and stationary. Alright, and here we're coming in with the highlight color. Just a brighter green to really mix up the green colors to show a highlight and keep the shadows. I don't know how YouTubers don't mess up during these. Like, are you just reading a script? And how don't you mess up the script? I don't understand it. forward to the final shots. Showing off the bases. Looks really nice. These are the bases on the other two. I made 3 of these total. And I think it looks really good. Well, until next time, happy crafting. Goodbye.